Hi friends. So today I wanted to talk about something a little different. I've been gaming a lot recently, and I've been started playing this MMORPG game where I play in a fantasy world. And because I'm on a Japanese server, everyone who's playing with me online at the same time and who I interact with, they're all Japanese. And playing in this game kind of made me understand Japanese culture and also I think business culture a little bit more, especially in the sense of how people are interpreting uh, the kind of communication behavior that people typically do in Japan. And what I mean by this is that in Japan there's a lot of extra words and phrases and operational behaviors that you utilize that may seem unnecessary at times. Extra apologies, extra thank yous, and whatnot. And for me, coming from a more Western culture, especially uh, from a generation that's starting to value authenticity more, self awareness, being woke, or whatever, and I think that has affected me how I interpret the almost procedural behaviors of Japan as being very empty and sometimes I wouldn't say meaningless, but inauthentic. Um, and I, th- and in some cases maybe it is, but sometimes it probably isn't. It's just that I don't understand. And what made me kind of realize this, give me a light bulb moment, was playing in game in this fantasy world with other Japanese people and seeing the same behavior from the outside world in real life being transferred into the game where people are still uh, being extra respectful or utilizing the typical behaviors in operational kind of communication seen outside, and it just really baffled me. It surprised me because in a online game where you're anonymous, you don't have to do that. There's no need. You could just be yourself. Not saying you don't need to be respectful or nicer, but I'm just saying you don't have to go those extra steps that are expected outside in real life. And yet people were still doing it in game. And for me, I think that aspect of it made me interpret that behavior and language a lot more differently than I would have if I was talking with someone outside in real life. And I appreciated it more from the strangers. It meant more, and it kind of made me happy and feel like I was part of a happy community. I felt a lot more connection in a different way. Not that I never felt that before, but it kind of it felt more authentic, and think I finally understood how a lot of the Japanese people interpret those behaviors when they see it happening or when they do it themselves in real life. And I guess it was eye opening for me because I always wasn't sure how people were kind of interpreting whenever I did, because I always kind of half of it felt inauthentic, half of it just kind of felt very operational and so meaningless. And yet, I guess maybe for many Japanese people, they're still interpreting it differently, especially in my work office where there's a lot of older people. And because my work office has a lot of lifetime employment people, these are people who have worked there together for decades, meaning they probably also interpret that in a similar way I was interpreting it in game. So for me, that was really kind of cool, I guess. And I finally think I understood a little bit of what's going through emotionally when people are doing those behaviors. Uh, anyway, I think I'm repeating myself into oblivion now, so I'll stop there. But that was kind of a interesting experience and discovery that I had recently, which I thought I'd share. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you guys up again another time. Bye.